So what happens when you're totally in your masculine energy and you find a man who's in his feminine? Let's talk about it.
Mr. Nelson, you have brought Mrs. Fuller here in an effort to get $600 a month transitional support for the next 3 years for a total of $21,600. Before we discuss that request for transitional support, however, Mr. Nelson, tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today.
All right, well, it's pretty much like this. You know, I guess I could say I'm like the regular kind of guy, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I stay at home, you know, I cook, I clean, you know what I mean? Like, pick up after myself, of course.
Well, let me just stop you right here because the adjective you used was wrong. That ain't regular, okay what I'm saying? That's not regular. This wonderful cooking, cleaning, romancing, and not bad-looking fella on your hands. What seems to be the problem?
Well, first off, when we first met, you know, he led me to believe, you know, I understood he didn't have a job. Mm-hmm. It's a bad economy. A lot of people don't have a job right now. But he bamboozled me.
Mrs. Fuller, did you fail to see the myriad of red flags that were flying in your face?
If by myriad of red flags you mean I met him at a bus stop.
It's a rare event where I see the woman talking about the man not giving her enough sex.
I mean, I guess it's a rare occasion, but
it's happened today.
I feel like it's not very rare. I have a normal sex drive, you know. I do like sex, you know. I see nothing wrong with that. I like to have sex with my husband. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He'd be having to complain all the time, talking about making excuses. I get home from work, working 10-hour days, get home. He's been home playing video games on Facebook. I feel like when I get home, the least he could do is take care of my sexual needs. He is my husband. It's not like he's doing anything else all day. I finally do get home. He can talk about all type of excuses. I got a headache. I'm tired. My stomach hurts. What are you tired from? You have not done anything all day.
Mr. Nelson?
Okay, so what we can see from this clip, and I'm sure that this is an extreme, but I do think that this is a perfect example of the power of being in the wrong energy. Everything from this guy not wanting to work, he wants to stay at home, he cleans up, he cooks, he's the house husband, to the woman being the career-minded, she's the one who picked him up, she's the one who's doing this and that, and even her sex drive versus his. I mean, it really seems like something out of a bad dream. But this is how these energies work. See, a woman who is truly in her masculine energy, she acts masculine. And she even wants the things that men typically want, where for men it's exact opposite. But you see how they came together. In fact, if it had been exact reverse, if the man was the woman and the woman was the man, we wouldn't even be watching this video. We wouldn't even be worried about this video. No one would have even cared. But because it was in reverse, it does something to our minds. It shows us, wow. And we have to ask ourselves, do we want that? Is that what we want? And this is why I encourage women to go into their feminine energy, to try to embrace the feminine. And also to teach your daughters to embrace the feminine while you teach your sons to embrace the masculine. So I know it's a lot of women because, you know, 50% of the women, or 45, 50-ish % of the women that come out to CSC tend to be in their masculine. They tend to lean a little bit more into their masculine than their feminine. So I understand that there's a lot of them that fight. I understand the fight, saying, no, 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 but you don't understand, and I got to do this, and blah, 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 and I'm looking for this, and he needs to be more masculine than me. Okay, here's the problem, ladies, when it comes to masculinity. There is a point where there is literally no more. Because if you go above this, it becomes toxic. If you go above this, it goes into craziness. And you may think, oh, wow, that is masculine, that is this, that is that, because it feels as though, okay, your level, your energy is now being engulfed by his. But depending upon where you are on that scale, and I'm not saying all of you are at that far 10 scale, but depending upon where you are on that scale, his masculinity might be too much. It might be overpowering. And unfortunately, I can say this with clarity from the women that I've talked to. Many of the women who walk in their masculine energy end up in at least one relationship. I would probably say I ran into about 40-50% of my 50% masculine women that were in an abusive relationship. The man was verbally abusive, he was physically abusive, or he was just downright crazy. See, we have to understand that there is a level where if you go beyond it, you're not really getting into more of a masculine man. You're actually getting into a toxic masculine man. And you don't want to be with a toxic guy. You want to be with a good, solid, spirit-filled, intelligent, but masculine man. And in order to get that man, you're going to have to be in your feminine. So you say, okay, well, I get men all the time. I get this, I get that. Again, let me tell you how this unfolds. Generally speaking, masculine men, when they date a masculine woman, they'll go out with her a couple of times because they want to see her flow. A lot of times women who walk in their masculine energy are actually very attractive women because they understand that beauty is power. So as these men, these masculine men are talking to you, he's paying attention to everything that you do. He's paying attention to the fact, do you let him open doors? Do you let him pay for the meal? How aggressive are you to walk off on your own? Do you stay by his side? Because the energy he's looking for is an energy that's comfortable to him. And that comfort is coming from a feminine place. So if you don't match up with that energy, if you don't match up with what he's used to, then one day he's just not going to call you back. And you're going to wonder, what did I do wrong? And some guys might tell you, and some guys may not. And then you're left wondering. But the key to it is let him lead. Because if he's not leading, you don't want him. If he don't have a job, you don't want him. If he doesn't have his own house or apartment or something that is his own that he can lock so that nobody can come in, you don't want him. You want a man that is about his business. And in order to get that man that is about his business, he's going to be looking for a certain type of woman. Now, this is not to say you have to give up your life, that you can't be a career-minded woman. I actually ran into a young lady who owns her own business, but she's extremely feminine. I run into PhD women who are extremely feminine. I run into a lot of women who are feminine, and they're in high-ranking positions. But the difference is those women understand that that's a job, that that's a situation, that that is this thing over here. Even if you do have masculine energy, what are your priorities? Are your priorities for the world? Or are your priorities more insular? Are they more for the family? Because if you say, I want to have the best family, I want to have the best things, I want to take care of my kids, then you're turning that more aggressive energy, but you're turning it into a place that is very comfortable. The main thing that you need to understand is how to turn that energy. And there are a lot of women that have learned tricks in order to do it. In fact, one trick that I've heard of before, and this is actually with a man, but not with a woman, but it's a trick that I think modern women can use. A friend of mine told me this story about his grandfather. And he would say that when his grandfather would come home, because, back in the day, jobs were stressful. It's not like it is now with all these rules and regulations. So his grandfather worked 2 jobs. And when he came home, he was extremely tired and extremely stressed. So he would actually sit in his car and he would sit there for about 60 to 90 seconds. And after that, he would actually leave the car, put on a big smile, and go into his family. And this was a routine that he did every single day. And the reason why my friend knew about it was because he literally asked his grandmother, who understood what was happening. And she explained it to him. And she said, we never disturb Grandpa in that first 60 to 90 seconds. We always give him time to do whatever he needs to do to become the person he needs to be. And many of you ladies, that might be what you need to do. Before you go on a date, you just need to say, I'm the woman. He does for me. I don't do for him. He does for me. And it's easier that way. That's how you get doors opened. That's how you get your food paid for. That's how you get your light bulb changed. Okay, these are things you don't have to do. Why in the world would you want to do all these things when you can have them done for you? See, the feminine woman gets all those things done for her and she gets the man. The masculine woman does all those things herself. She pays all that money herself and she still doesn't get the man. Think about it. I just encourage you to embrace your feminine. It's a lot more powerful than what you think. Please like and subscribe. Until next time.